Chris Vaccaro here. Special conversation with Riccardo Fraccari, the president of WBSC. There's a world of baseball on your shoulders to change the game, evolve the game, and put it in a great place, better than where you found it, right? And just thank you so much for taking the time. I got a bunch of questions, but I'm excited to chat with you. I know you're a busy guy. It's a busy time, right? It's the fall. You got the regular baseball MLB playoffs, but you're focused on the Premier 12, the big event for WBSC, the top 12 teams in the world. So much preparation goes into that. And it's such a fun moment, right, for baseball to look at all these teams. Sure, Major League Baseball is over, but we go right into something else that's exciting. Talk about the preparation and all the work that goes into it.
The Premier 12 is a flagship of our event. And of course, they need a lot of preparation because practically we use the same system for the Classic. We have to take care about the teams, the accommodation, and the field of play. And of course, the Premier 12, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it has been 5 years since it was last held. So, of course, we are all very excited because we have the new edition, and we believe that in the strength of international baseball and the fan base. Premier 12 will see the best international men's baseball program compete for the trophy, and that will excite baseball fans globally. We have 3 fantastic hosts for the first phase in Mexico, Taiwan, and Japan. And we know that there will be unbelievable atmosphere for all the game. At the World Baseball Classic last year, we witnessed the strength of international baseball, and we see even more of that in November. And especially for the baseball return to the Olympic sport program for Los Angeles 28, means that the stars will be desperate to do well for their countries and ensure they are part of the matches there. Ticket sales have been very impressive across all our host venue, but especially for the Super Round in Japan. Something unique for the Premier 12 is that the player play for the honor of their national team, their country, and this is very important. So we expect extraordinary games in a few days in the part in Taiwan, Mexico, and after in Japan. But the preparation is very, it consumes all our energies for sure.
Now it's so great. You go from World Baseball Classic, there's no lull, there's no drop off. You get right into Premier 12. I mean, obviously the point of it all is to keep people watching baseball, keep players playing, inspire kids at all ages. Can you talk about that importance of just always having an international baseball event to look at? It helps raise the profile of the game for everybody, for businesses, for executives, for fans, for owners. It's such a great way to just keep the game alive.
To have every 2 years one big international event, grow the popularity of our sport, but especially give baseball the universality. It's not only one American sport, it's a global sport now, universal, because it involves all the countries. And I repeat, the ranking, because it's the system for be in the top 12, stimulate the country to play at every level, because they earn point from the under 12, under 15, under 18, under 23. So practically push a big movement of our sport. And this means more fans, more TV, more economical possibility, more financial, more sponsor. Of course, more grow the sport and more attractive is.
I want to talk about your love of the game. Where did you just start to love baseball? Were you a young boy? Did you play growing up in Italy? Talk to me about where that first desire came from.
Yes. I start when I start like young boy to play, but I was because I studied to the university, I was not too much time to dedicate. And I remember one day when I was to the field, the manager called me and say, do you love baseball? I love. Give me the glove because you are not a good player. Go to umpire. No, really. I start my career like player, umpire, and I umpire in LA 28. I received the award like best umpire in the world, and I was on the top. And after I made the international event competition, and the end, the president of the federation at this time, after the Olympic, called me and say, "Hey, now you achieve all the top. You have to start for create a school umpiring." And I start to create the umpiring school in Italy. I was appointed like president of Italian umpire and European world level. And after I started like dirigent in the international federations.
And all the while, you are a university professor. You're teaching organic chemistry. It is such an interesting background. You know, the people around the world may not understand. Yes, we all love baseball. It wasn't always or isn't always the primary occupation for most people outside of America. So you have a career in higher education, a career in science education. You know, you're balancing managing curriculum and coursework and student advisement, and then you're off to a baseball, softball field and umpiring because you love it. So that must have been a wild, just decades of your life trying to juggle all of it.
I remember many times I arrived, I was back from the field 5 o'clock in the morning, and 8 o'clock I was in the school to teach. So it's really, you need to have a love for what you are doing. And but we can join together if we have inside the passion of the sport.
You know, teaching is very much coaching, and there's an element of growing, nurturing students. Did you find yourself doing that in baseball as well? Do you have this ability to relate to people, to understand, hey, we got to keep getting bigger, stronger, faster. We have to keep growing. And I ask that because I'm a professor. I teach journalism. I advise students. It's a very important part of my day too. And I always have this personal desire to keep educating, no matter what it is, whether I'm talking about baseball or journalism or even with my own children. Do you have that same idea of like growing the game, but through the eyes of education?
Yes, it is the same. See, you can study like you can practice sport, but you apply with the passion and dedication. This is the main value for arrive to the success, even in the job, in the career, and in the sport, like baseball. This is for sure. And sometimes it's not easy to have together, no, the job, the study, and the baseball. But if really you dedicate yourself, you with some, you can arrive to achieve the top in both.
Where did you learn your ability to lead? Or do you have mentors or examples that you model your self-discipline and how you guide other people? There's a lot of people in your organization. There's a lot of political items that you have to deal with. You have to be a strong leader. Where did that all come from for you?
My leadership style is driven by my commitment to elevate the sport we serve. I strive to be a leader who not only guides, but also inspires. And I consider myself charismatic, which allows me to connect with different audiences, stakeholders. But I repeat, passionate and determined, my love for baseball drives my determination to see the sport grow across the world. And the other point is the collaboration and teamwork is one thing that I even now in my federation, I continue to do. The teamwork is fundamental. And I think that if you really want to have the best for your sport, what you are doing, the leadership, if you have some value, the leadership coming out for sure.
One of the things that has caught my eye and many people around the world is Baseball 5 and growing the game in a very fun way. in probably areas that may not have baseball, so it's a feeder system to the bigger game. It's caught on like wildfire. Are you excited about what that is? Can you explain it to people that don't understand and where we headed with all of that?
I was president of the Italian Baseball Federation for 16 years. And you know that baseball is not in the DNA of the European and the Italian. So, and always I try to facilitate the youth, the young, to play baseball. And we invent many T-ball, many different exercises, but no one right to have really a big mass of players. And one day I asked myself, but why football is so popular all over? And the answer is simple: 2 stones and we play. So I reflect, what is the challenges for baseball? The cost of the materials, the field of play, because never can have this. So I say, and some position, because you know better than me, for the right to have a top team, you need a strong pitcher, so. And I ask what I can do for give baseball the same, bring baseball the same like football. I want to take out the challenges. So I was looking in internet. One day I saw in Cuba play on the street. They call quattro esquina, missing the corner of the street with a ball. I say, I was looking in Venezuela, I was looking somewhere, and similar urban baseball was present all over. So I say, okay, we can create one international rules, discipline. And was born Baseball 5 in a field of play 20 meters for 20 meters. We took out the challenge. It means all the material. The people, the player, hit the ball with the hands, a rubber ball, and the same rules of baseball: first, second, third, throw, the same. We was to okay, but before to invest, I want to see if really this have the right way for a right to the kid. And we was in Burundi, and in Burundi we didn't have any influence of any sport, and we had 3 days of clinic with the kids, and after we show one baseball game of MLB. They understood what happened in the field. Of course, not the technically, but they understood. And you know that if you don't know nothing of baseball, many times you go to the field, you go back because you don't understand. So said, this is the right way. And from there, we start with baseball 5 and exploding all over, especially in Africa. You know that in Africa, we don't have strong team sport for many reasons. Economically, space, they are athletics there. And for the first time, 3 African countries qualify for the World Cup. From this moment, all the Olympic Committee of Africa said, this is a sport of the continent. And from there, it's growing. 3 weeks ago, I was in, I make a tour in Asia for the Classic. And I was in a country near the Himalaya, and they play baseball 5 because they have nothing to not the cost, no, and especially it's a game that really engage the youth. It's a play, you know, and I think there can be the possibility for growth even in countries where baseball is not present, but also can increase the number of the consumer of baseball, because after the people go to watch the game. So this is very important, and they increase even the fans. So baseball 5 is, in my opinion, is you know that now the youth don't stay too much long they want to consume very fast the e-sport, and this is the secret why it was so popular baseball 5. This is my opinion.
We're still in the early stages of maybe watching some of these nations grow. Do you see this as a real feeder system where they can go from baseball 5 to perhaps a little league setup, or because of the resources and the infrastructure, they can't really do that? Or maybe some countries can.
Depends on the country. So
Right.
baseball 5 can be one discipline, of course. Sorry, I can be one discipline himself, a sport himself, but can drive the player to baseball and softball. So depend, of course, if they have the opportunity, the possibility, if there are, if the country is one baseball country or not. But for sure, is the base for a right to be a baseball player also, or softball. And the other point is the mixed gender, because these are other important things. So of the 8 players, 4 had to be men and 4 had to be women. This is another important tools, in my opinion.
Any studies or data behind potential economic growth in a region because of baseball?
Yes. Baseball 5. Do you want to know?
I mean, technically both, but I was thinking about
Yes,
baseball
I
5.
can tell you. We received some report after our World Cup from some country where the possibility to play one international event grow the financial situation in terms of hotel, accommodation, store, etc. Behind the game. There is the people that go to watch the game and increase this is very important. And also for baseball 5, there are some community that want to use for make publicity of the city. So it's one good instrument for grow economically, for sure. Baseball and baseball 5.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, obviously, it brings more eyeballs in both sense, especially with the bigger scale tournaments that are coming to the areas. The there's so much going on between the Premier 12 and Baseball 5, and I'm sure other initiatives, plus all the World Championships, all the tournaments that you have. Do you have a always moving 3 to 5 year plan of growing the game? Like what else can we expect from the WBSC that you're able to talk about for what's in store for the future?
We have to exit from the normal way, the comfort zone. Means that baseball is not only what happens in USA. If we want to be a global sport, we have to globalize and to be present in all the continent, okay? So, in my opinion, for example, I can give you one example of some new initiative that you are taking, not only baseball 5. For example, why until now are not existing in baseball the Champion League for club like in football? We now start to have the baseball Champion League. The World Cup for club is another example. And this year we have in February we have the real first edition of the Champion League. Our project to create the American Champion League, the European Champion League, the Asian Champion League, and after to make the world final. Other initiative, the e-sport. Today, the kid, they love to play. So why we don't go not in generic for the generic e-game? This year, for example, we had the Premier 12, and we have in the same moment the e-Premier 12. We just started the qualifier in all the continent, and when you play the final in the Tokyo Dome, the real game, we have also the final of the e-game that won the qualifier. So we have to create the one modern view of our sport, because we have to exit from the old comfort zone that our sport is in the USA.
Obviously, I love that you're Italian, that you're from Italy, that you're grounded in your love of Italian baseball. Obviously, I'm Italian American, love everything in Italy as well. We've spent time together. We broke bread in Italy. It was great over the summer. I was happy we were able to do that. Do you follow the Italian Baseball League? Do you follow Fibs? Do you still keep in contact with your old colleagues and buddies and such?
When was strongest, yes, but of course I follow even the Italian league, and I tell you that I like to see to grow the Italian league how in the past. And for example, like now I talk with in my position of president of the International Baseball Federation after the result of the Classic of Czech Republic, for example. Japan asked me to organize a series in Japan and the professional league, because they want to put attention to the Czech player. The same for Italy. If Italy arrive to have a good level, can also be under the observation of the professional league. So we have to understand that we have to work hard for develop the different national league for a right to globalize really the sport all over.
Are you watching Major League Baseball playoffs? Do you always tune into those games?
Yes, I cannot watch for sure. I had to watch also these, and I love but for example, did you ask why the last Classic was so successfully compared with the other edition? Because I saw for the first time the player play for their country, and give more. This give the something more to the event, and the consequence is, I don't know if you follow the many professional players, they decide to play for the Olympic. Have you seen?
Yes, it's more and more starting to talk about it. Yeah,
because the MLB, the Major League is fantastic, huge, tremendous event, but it's still domestic. The Olympic are the flagship, the pinnacle of the sport, and I like to see really baseball permanent in the Olympic. This guarantee the development of our sport all over.
I mean, it's the difference in just overall perception, the difference in how players are talking about it, the excitement from the last WBC. I can't wait for 2026. That I was going to end on my question about what we can expect for the World Baseball Classic. I mean, I know you're focused on the next 2 months and Premier 12, but we're so excited about the World Baseball Classic. I mean, I can't wait to watch.
Sure.
I guess Italy's going to be in Houston. I think they announced it, right? I'm excited to go down. It's going to be exciting. How are you feeling already in advance of that? And then, as we touched on it briefly, that after that comes 2028 Olympics. We have such a great few years ahead. It's amazing.
This is the pathway for develop our sport. But you told before, you expect to watch Italy to play in the class, the country, like always. This is important to give the honor of the country, that give a different value to the game. And this is the reason why, in my opinion, the last Classic was more successful.
I appreciate your time, your leadership, all the things you've done for the game. And I'm excited about this November. I'm excited about 2026 and 2028. And hopefully we can get together again at some point in Italy or in America, wherever.
I can tell you when you are in the Tokyo Dome for the final, and we see 45,000 people watching the final, is something special. Believe me, and something they say, okay, we achieved the result to globalize our sport, and not only in domestic way but international way.
Grazie mille.
Thank you, and I hope to host you again in Italy as soon as possible.
Yes, as soon as possible. I agree. That'd be great.
Okay.